Hey, listen, I am Strick and I am so excited to be with you today for the Streamers Hub. We have a lot going on today, and I'm so thankful that you guys have joined us for live streaming for coaches. We're going to give you some tips today if you are a coach on how to use live streaming in your coaching business. So, no matter what kind of coach you are, we're going to talk about all of that today. But before I get started, I do want to share a couple of things with you really quick. I cannot go on or start any one of my shows without talking about join our streaming partnership program. So if you're out there and you're like thinking like Strick, I really want to be down with you. How can I stream like you are with one stream? It's really simple. I need you to do me a favor. Send me your profile or send us your profile to content at onestream.live and give us an opportunity to see who you are and what you do. And you could be streaming just like me. Okay, it's really that simple. Again, that's your profile to content at onestream.live. Come through and hang out and let us know who you are. And if you're coming in today, into the YouTube channel, do the same thing Talk Virtual is doing right now. Thank you, Erica, for coming through and hanging out with us. She says hello. You should say hello as well. Even if you're in a replay, I want to know that you watched us tonight. So I get to do something special today that I haven't done in a while on the Streamers Hub. I get a chance to interview somebody. I've been missing that. So, as we talk about live streaming tips for coaches, I want to talk to a one streamer. So, I have a young lady that's going to hang out with me tonight. We're going to talk about who she is, how she got to one stream, and then give a couple of tips for you guys that are coaching because she's done a lot of stuff and she's ready to go to help you if you are a coach. So, Naja, Hayward is here with us today, and I'm going to bring her on to the screen with me. How are you doing, ma'am?
I am doing great. I love that you said young woman because I feel like I'm an OG in this game. So I
I
was like,
got you.
oh, I'll take it,
I
young
got
woman.
you.
I'll
I
take it
got
all
you.
day long.
Listen, you're a young woman. You couldn't be a day over 29. I wouldn't give
Exactly.
you a day over 29.
Exactly.
There you
Exactly.
go. Hey, thank you for your willingness to hang out with me in the Streamers Hub today. Now,
Yeah.
you are a one streamer. How long have you had one stream?
I think I've had one stream for like 3 or 4 years.
That's cool. That's
Yeah,
cool.
and I love one stream. There's so many options out there, and I've probably played with all of them, but one stream has been my consistent over the last I think 3 or 4 years. So
That's awesome. So, how are you using it in what you do?
So, like you said, I am a coach and I've been coaching since about 2010. But I'm so much more. So, I'm what I call a multi passionate entrepreneur. I'm a serial entrepreneur and I have three businesses. I have a tea company, we do wholesale tea, and we wholesale to different retailers. I'm a consultant and a coach, and we have a digital agency where we help people with their social media and really to build profitable businesses. And then I have a publishing company where we help people bring their beautiful stories to life. And so when you think about that, you're like, wow, they're all so different. But the reality is marketing, right? And
True.
what live streaming allows you to do is to get in front of your audience and to do what you and I are doing is to really kind of connect on a personal level. They get to see who you are. They get to kind of get a sense of your energy. So the way we're using live streaming today with the consulting pieces, we really work with a lot of our clients on doing webinars. How are you building your audience? How are you nurturing your audience? How are you growing your audience? How are you then really kind of nurturing your clients
Hmm.
once they become they know you and they might like you, but they haven't really built the trust factor yet. How do you move them through the stream of your sales funnel and your marketing funnel? And live streaming has always been a piece of that marketing strategy.
Well, that's awesome. Definitely. Thank you for sharing that. And yes, you have a lot going on with three
Yeah.
different companies, but I do understand they do have some symmetry in them as far as some of the things you're doing. Like you said, marketing is marketing, right? You can't
Marketing
get
is
away
marketing.
from that. And live streaming is live streaming. And
Yeah.
as I go forward, I got Coleman that is sending you some love on
Oh
YouTube.
man. That's my buddy. He's my fan club president.
There you go. There you go. He's definitely sending you some love, and Erica is saying hello to you as
Hi,
well.
Erica.
Yeah. So thank you guys for hanging out with us today. So when we talk about coaches, let's just start with some examples. So I you are coaching from a standpoint of digital marketing, right? Helping people be exposed from a digital marketing perspective. But there
Mhm.
are tons of other ways
So
coaches
many.
different areas could use live streaming, right?
Absolutely. It's so interesting because I'm actually working with a new client, and she's 70, and so she's in a generation where this
Wow.
technology, it's just not it's not
It's
easy,
foreign
and it
to
doesn't
them,
come. It's totally foreign to them. But when they start to play with it and they really kind of get a sense of how you can connect actually pretty deeply with someone through this type of technology, they get excited about it. And so a piece
right?
of it is really kind of teaching people what their options are, and it's like demystifying the fear of going live. So it's funny because I was watching some of my old videos, and with my tea company, I did my very first Facebook. It wasn't a Facebook live, but it was like a pseudo Facebook live years ago. It was like 2010. This was
Gotcha.
before everyone was doing video, and it was like, oh, go live. And I realized then, because doing those videos started to get people to know me, to know my business, to know what kind of
Right.
teas we served. I got to do classes. I was doing all kinds of, I mean, you can literally do anything going live, right? So we would do tea tastings and we would do tea classes at this time. This is way back in the day. We would have how to cook with tea. And so we were teaching people how to do this live, right? So that's on the tea
Right.
side. As a coach, of course, there's so many different types of coaches. You have business coaches, love coaches. There's a coach for everything these days.
It
And
really
so,
is.
and I love it. I mean, it gives us all an opportunity to learn in that environment. But not everyone can go live. And I think COVID really showed us that this world of remote opportunity is alive and well. And more people were brought into that with Zoom. I think Zoom is like one that everyone can visualize. They're like, okay, got it. And so to be able to have the face to face conversation really
Hmm.
does give you a sense of closeness, a sense of intimacy, and a sense of, is this someone potentially that I want to work with? Or if you're already
Right.
working with someone, then it really deepens and strengthens the relationship.
So if you're a coach, so regardless of what you are coaching about, you mentioned the pandemic, and the pandemic really took remote, like you said, Zoom, and the opportunities for us to be able to connect using software like OneStream, whether
Yeah.
it's one on one. So to be honest with you, regardless of us streaming live now, we can still connect behind the scenes with OneStream. I could go open up a session in studio now
Mhm.
and send you a link, and we can still talk, and we can have all of our features and functions without going live. But when you
Yeah.
go live, it just gives people an opportunity to be on the inside of that conversation, just like now, where we have people. And Coben is still chatting and saying, "Hey, this is great. Learning new things about streaming." And yeah, and Erica is saying, yeah, you can have a coach for everything. So now we are able to engage not just each other in the conversation, but even the people that are watching. And with
I mean,
one
so
stream, you
to the point of what you're doing, you're having a conversation with Coleman and Erica. I can't really
at the
see
same
them.
time,
Yeah, so
you
you're having a sidebar conversation, not even sidebar. They're kind of a part of this conversation, right? So
right,
you and I get to be the presenters. We get to kind of be the experts, and but then you have the Colemans and the Ericas and I think there was someone else that you had mentioned that's here that can participate in this conversation, and so no one feels left out. I think you also have this choice, and to be honest, like sometimes people don't want to go live. They don't want to do their hair or put the makeup on, or you know what I mean. They want to wear their robe while they're talking, and so there's ways to do that. What I love is the diversity of how many ways you can show up when you go live. I love that you can have like one of the things that I love most about OneStream is you can do the pre-recorded, right? The
Right.
pre-recorded is if you have a commercial that you want to do either in the middle of your talk, is you could be talking about one thing and then you can have sponsors. Um, you can start your live stream with an introduction of a video. I mean, there's so many ways that you can really up level how you do video. So even though okay, full disclosure, Strick and I were trying to figure out my lighting because I'm at an Airbnb and I don't have my usual setup, right? Because lighting is important. You want all of those things so that you show up as a professional, so that you show up and you don't look like you're in a barn somewhere with no lighting, as I did a little bit earlier. Um,
But it all came together. You look
it really
good.
did come all together. But even with that, your I remember when I first saw your live stream, and it's so professional, right?
Oh,
You can
thank
do
you.
the backdrops that really give you this newsy kind of feel. And I know that OneStream has some new, don't they have some new backgrounds that people
They do.
can use? And so there's so many ways to show up as a total professional
That's
in
true.
a platform that doesn't cost a whole lot. So there's not a whole lot of output, but you get a whole lot of return.
You get a whole lot of return. That is so true. And I spend a lot of time doing all of this so that it does look good. Like it's part of it. But one thing that I will tell you that separates OneStream from a lot of other platforms that it is browser based. So all you need from an internet connection is enough to get to their servers.
Yeah.
Okay, so right now we should be exporting at 1080p, and we have enough to look good. So if you're watching us, well, I know that you're watching this on
Yeah.
YouTube, you should really get a good 1080p resolution show. And that's something that, some other competitors don't have all of that. Okay. They may
Mhm.
be down at 720, where, OneStream will get you a better quality. Now, you mentioned something earlier, and I want to go ahead and mark this as a tip. All right, so this is our first tip of the day. I'm going back so that everybody could actually hear what she said. Real time interaction with live streaming is something that is a tip for you if you are a coach. So, a lot of people like one on one coaching. One on one coaching is great, but there will be a time where you will have a group of people, a cohort, or whatever, and you need to be able to have all those people in one place and you can communicate with them and have some conversations with all of them all at the same time. And you could do that with OneStream Live Studio. So, that being said, real time interaction when you are live streaming does go a long way.
It really does. And as a coach, I always teach people to move away from the one-on-one model just because you want to leverage your time, you want to leverage you don't want to trade dollars for hours, right?
That's
And
true. That's
so
true.
and so I always recommend don't do one-on-one unless you're doing it at a really high level. For me, I do it from a consulting perspective, so it's a very high level. But when I do coaching, we definitely do more of that group element. I think group also really gives other people it's okay to be the expert, it's okay to be knowledgeable, but that collective voice, that collective knowledge base, that collective brain power for me is really where the value comes in some of these coaching programs that are more
That's
of the group
excellent.
coaching programs. And so a platform like OneStream allows you to do that. And what I also love personally, having used I feel like I've used them all, but
Right.
it's so beautiful, it's so elegantly designed, and that really does matter when you're behind the scenes and you're trying to figure out, okay, there is a lot going on.
There's a lot to do.
Rick and I can see, so I'm looking at chats over here and I see me two times over here, and then there's a control panel. So it does feel like I'm in a newsroom, but it's not like some of these platforms you're just like, oh my gosh, you need to hire someone just to manage the back end, right? And this feels like you can actually be a one person show and manage it well. You don't feel like you're going to get lost and then you're going to forget what you're supposed to be talking about with all of the
Right.
people that you're coaching, or with your group. So that's one of the things I appreciate about OneStream.
And it is, I'm glad you said that because there's just so much to be able to do. So, tip number two is to be, when you're live streaming, it increases the engagement. Okay. And I know it may feel like, real time interaction in it, but by you having real time interaction, which is number one, the byproduct of that is the engagement. So people are engaged. Yeah, you're going to have like the person that is helping and doing a lot of talking. And then you have the other person in the back that's watching everything and not saying anything. But the real time engaging, you can ask that person that hasn't said anything the whole time to be sure they're engaged in the conversation as well. And they
You
have a
mean
way
call them out?
to
Is that what you're trying to say, Strick?
hey,
You can
listen,
call them out.
sometimes you have to say, hey, the people in the back, I need you to respond. Let me know that you're with me. Sometimes you have to say
Yes,
that.
yes. And I think from a sales point, so for me, one of my favorite uses of live streaming is to enroll people into my programs.
Hmm.
And so when you're able to actually have people sign up and then they show up to this kind of environment, they get a sense of what they're going to be learning and how they're going to be learning, because it's very different when, and to be honest, when you're on Zooms, and it's fine, I think it has its place, and it definitely has its place,
Right.
but it doesn't have this same feel of like, oh, I'm really dealing with someone who's leveling up. Like, this is a whole new level, and it makes you feel, especially from a technology standpoint, when you're a digital agency, when you're telling people that you're going to be helping them with their social media and that you're going to be doing more than what your average person is doing, to show up on a platform like OneStream is like, huh, okay, I see. This is a level up.
It's definitely a level up. It's definitely a level up, and you will make yourself look a whole lot better. And I said it earlier, you will have that increased resolution using a company like OneStream to actually do your work. Now, with how the studio is set up, you can have up to 14 people in your live. So the same way I sent you a invite to come in, you have up to 14 people that you can send that invite to. And if
Mm-hmm.
memory serves me correctly, then you have 10 people that can actually be on the screen at one time,
Mm-hmm.
which is a ton of interaction.
It is a
And
lot of interaction.
and depending on how many people you have in your group, a conversation with 10 people is a great conversation to have, especially if you have priced it right. Everybody has access, and now you have your group on the screen at one time, and it does rival a Zoom, but now you get all these increased features with it. So that at any point you want to change how it looks.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. At any point you want to just do something different, and with all the background and stuff that we have, you're able to do that. You're talking and go to the side. I really like
I feel
this
like I'm
view
on
where you have
CNN.
people
I
on.
mean, I really feel like I'm like, are you Don Lemon? Is this CNN? Like, what's happening here? Are we
Right.
interviewing Don Lemon on CNN? Because that's what it feels like. It just has that kind of perfect, and the ease of it, like just how you can move it all around. I love it. Also, being able to share your screen and to have a webinar feel is really important for me, because that's a whole lot of what we do on the sales side.
That's
Is
right.
we're showing people and we're going through this step by step. On the publishing side, we want to show them, what are the 5 key things that are happening for you as an author that are really preventing you from getting published. On the digital agency side, we have a whole webinar type for that. And so for us, that first introduction to us is less about coming together as a group, and it's more really just showing a PowerPoint presentation. And so people get to, like on YouTube, they get to participate and watch without necessarily having to be a part of it.
That's so true. That is so true. And we have to mark that as another tip. Guys, when you are going live and you're able to do the presentation live, it just takes you to a whole nother level. So what happens when you have coaching clients? Let's just say it this way, and I'll let you piggyback on this. People want to know if they're spending money with you as a coach, how professional you are, like what technique, what style. Can you wow me with some of the tech that you know? And some of that allows them to know they're in the right place.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Because, we have certain professions that use presentations all the time. Like teachers are using presentations all the time. If you're coaching a teacher, and you don't have that element in your coaching style, you
Yeah.
may miss an opportunity to connect with that teacher. So knowing technology and then having a system like OneStream where you could do the presentation. So, it's no secret. We use Canva for everything.
Yeah.
Canva has a way to where you can pull in. Well, OneStream has a way where you can pull in that Canva screen. You're sharing that window of Canva. It is extended, so it's open, and all you're doing is clicking through the Canva presentation, and it's going right through OneStream as you're sharing your screen in the system. Guys, it works. I do it all the time.
Right.
Like last week,
When
that's
you
exactly what I was doing.
when you showed me that last week, I had no idea at the time, and I was blown away because I'm a Canva girl. I love Canva all day long. My team designs for our clients in Canva. Like we keep it super simple. We're not, we don't use all of the what is it called, Photoshop. No, we use
Uh-huh.
Canva. But when you took it to the next level and showed us how we can actually present inside of OneStream and with Canva, I was like, okay, I hadn't known that. All this time, I didn't know that. So that
I'm
was tip number, was it five, six? What?
I think we're at 4 right now. It's like somebody's gonna have to help us out if
Yeah, we
Coben
need
is
some
still
help.
there, Erica's still hanging out with us. I think that was 4 that we kind of got to. But and I'm finna give them 5 really quick because Erica talks about she's mentioned that I'm a professional broadcaster. I did radio for 15 years here,
Oh,
and this is no different for me in radio because you have all these knobs
yeah,
you have a
yeah,
big board with a bunch of knobs, and you have to know what all those knobs are. Right now, when you're live streaming, there's I would say up to 10 that you really need to know what these buttons mean. So it's easier for me, okay? It's
uh-huh.
easier for me to be able to do live streaming than radio. That being said, Erica teaches, so this is another tip. I may be at number 5.
Okay.
Um, that even though you're coaching, you have so many branding opportunities with
Yeah.
OneStream that you could now be branding your coaching business with another business, even if it's your own business. This thing you talked about your tea company. So you're coaching digital products, but you have your tea company as a sponsor. Well, who's the
Erica,
sponsor?
right on, totally on point. I actually had a client who recently was doing an interview using OneStream. And so she's talking about her client and she's putting his information and she's shouting him out. But she also has her own boot camp that's coming up. And so when she was done, I was like, you really missed a really great opportunity to introduce yourself and who you are. She forgot to say her name, she forgot to say her business. And so you do have to really look at, if you look at OneStream when you watch television, right? Television is a great example. You have a show, right? So we have a show right now. But television does not miss out on their opportunities to have commercials, right? So they have paid advertising. There are so many opportunities inside of live streams and definitely, of course, inside of OneStream where you can have many commercials. And so for me, I monetize everything. I'm an influencer. Is such a, that's like saying I'm a celebrity. It's such a weird word to use, but people pay me to get in front of my audience. And they pay me because I have a growing audience, I have a loyal audience, I have an engaged audience. And so I'm always talking about them. And so when you have these little moments, like even if we were to just pause inside of here at some point, we're talking about OneStream. We're on the OneStream platform, but you could easily talk about another business that is complementary to OneStream, right?
Right.
And have alternate ways of monetizing that. And so,
No,
Erica, I'm
no different
totally
than
with
us
you on
talking
that.
about Canva. No
Yeah,
different. Like
exactly.
you use the graphics from Canva inside of OneStream, so it's a complementary application or system that you can use. And go ahead, I interrupted you, but
No, I
that's
mean
an example.
totally on point. Totally on point. Another way that I like using, just to kind of segue into this other piece, another way that I love using OneStream is, so I have authors with my Rainmaker Publishing. We just finished a retreat. We did 4 days in a place called Hamul, California. It's beautiful. We come together, and my company does everything for my writers from a publishing perspective. We do their book covers, we do their interior and their formatting. And so, what I started doing as as an added bonus for my authors is we go live and they do readings of their books, and so then we put links directly to Amazon so that people can purchase their books. So for Valentine's Day, I had, I think, 6 different of my authors that did a chapter from their book, and then we put their name up. We had a background that was created for them, and then people could just go and buy their books, and so they were able to see sales immediately on from that event, because we were able to not just talk or have them do a reading and then say who they are, but we could actually link to their book for people to purchase. And
That's right.
so, and I think it can feel intimidating. And I will say this just as a woman who's, older than 29.
I get you. Two,
And
2 or 3 days. I get
two
you.
or 3 days, but technology can be intimidating. I happen to be a techie. I love technology, but it can be so intimidating, especially for the 50 and over crowd. But so for me, I used to be so afraid of math. I was so afraid of math. But when I just paused and I said, I'm going to really give myself an opportunity to not be afraid of it and to just give it a try. And I fell in love with math. And I think technology is the same thing. This might look a little bit intimidating initially, particularly if you're from a certain generation, but you have people at OneStream who are there to hold your hand.
That's
I
right.
actually came to Strick. I found out about Strick because he does these YouTube lives, and so he's always teaching something about the technology. But the company is also there for you. Once you
Right.
become a client, the company is going to hold your hand. They're going to give you trainings. They're going to make sure that you're successful because, of course, when you're successful, then their platform is successful. So I would say, I don't know if it's a tip, but I would say, like, don't let this technology intimidate you.
That's good. I like that. That's definitely a tip. Like, there's no way of getting
Mhm.
around helping
Yeah.
people understand the technology and making them feel good. I would say this: if you're someone that struggles with technology or you have it in your head that you can't do it, all I want you to do, this is the way I coach. So you get to have, we're talking about live streaming for coaches. I'm going to give you a quick coaching session. You take one step at a time.
Yes.
Just take one step at a time. Like, I'm going to learn this. So the first step is, hey, if you don't have one stream, there's an opportunity for you to get it completely free. They have a free version of it. Okay, just download it and put it on your computer and log in. Basically, whether it's a PC or Mac, we already went down that road,
Yeah.
right? Before we got started, we talked about PCs and Mac. But no matter what kind of computer you have, you can log into OneStream and see the platform, and then
Hmm.
you can connect a camera to it. So if you have a laptop that has a camera, just make that available. And if that same laptop has a microphone, you just select that, and now you have a microphone and camera connected, and then just press record and just talk into it and for a couple of minutes and hit stop and then watch what you just did.
I think Strick actually said that he'd be willing to jump on live with anyone who wanted some help. Didn't you say that?
I absolutely did not say that. You have everybody requesting that I sit here with them and do it. My job is to help. And if somebody was out there, to be honest with you, Miss Hayward, if somebody was out there and they really need me to hold their hand, guess what? I really would do it. I really would.
I know you
So
would.
this is what I tell people all the time. If you're having an issue, connect with me on Instagram. Just go to a DJ Strick on Instagram, or I think it's at Strick City, and inbox me, find me, and then I will do all I can to be sure that you have the tools to at least get started. We can do that first step together.
That's really sweet of you.
Okay,
As you
I
were
would do it.
saying that,
You put me out there now. You put me out there now. But before you go to the next thing, I want you to hold this because I wanted to go back really, really quick to show everybody something. So we mentioned having commercials inside of your
Mhm.
coaching for branding, for breaks, and all that kind of stuff. So this is what OneStream Labs does. This is an old. I don't think it's not that long, couple of seconds of a intro that I did when we were releasing the studio. But you can do this at any point, coaches. If you're using this, you need a break. You could throw up a 30-second or 60-second commercial and then come right back. But let me show you how easy it is. And I'm just pressing one button, right? And just like that, we're back. How simple can you be? It's
So simple. It's so simple
so
and so
easy to do.
professional. So
So there
professional.
you go. And guess what? That was produced in Canva. I mean, come on, you just change the words and throw it in there. That being said, I stop you from giving a point. I want to turn it back over to you.
No, strict. Another thing that I think is really important that we miss out on as coaches, as professionals in general, as business people. When you have a job, you go to work at 9, you get off at 5, you get you have the whole thing, you get your check every 2 weeks. But when we have our own business, sometimes we're less organized about our process. We're less
That's true.
organized in when we do things and how we do things. One of the things that I love about your show is we know when you're going to be here, right? You're dependable. We can expect for you to show up. And so as coaches and as business people, we need to really be dependable. We need to create a structured program. It doesn't have to be daily if daily doesn't work for you. For some people, that actually might be a great way to make sure that they get dressed and they get their day going. But whatever that schedule is for you, once a week, once every other week, once a month, twice a week, you create that based on what works for you, but be consistent. People want to know. Oprah isn't going to create a show and she's like, yeah, I might be here on Friday, maybe at 5, maybe at 6. See you then. We know when Oprah's
Right.
going to show up. We know when the news is on. We know when our favorite TV show is on. So be that same person because people will start showing up because they want to see you. They want to learn what it is that you have to say. They want to be a part of your community. So let them be a part of your community. Give them an opportunity by really just staying consistent. So plan your time out, plan your schedule out on when you're going to go live and do it consistently.
That is a excellent, excellent tip. So if you're a coach and you heard that, please make a good note. From a streaming perspective, saying, "Hey, I'm going to be here at this time," and being there, it starts trust with your people. So now they begin to trust your word because you're where you're supposed to be when they actually need you because they're waiting for that Tuesday to come around, that Thursday to come around, or in my case, the Streamers Hub Mondays at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. People are waiting, even if you're live streaming, even if a lot of people watch it in the replay.
Yes,
What? Like,
exactly,
there's some
exactly.
people, Ms. Hayward, there's some people that don't like the interaction, don't want their
Yeah,
name called out. They just want to watch and get the tips and take the tips. Like, thank you. They don't need the community, but it is there for the people that do need it. And when you call out people and people are a part of all the stuff that you do, it just breeds community and
it breeds
growth.
community.
And
I love that you're saying that. It does. And that's really what all of this is for all of us. Without community, we don't have a business, without our network. And so I love that you said that it breeds community. One of the other things that I love about one stream, but really about live streaming in general, is we're living in the day of podcasts, right?
right.
And so when you think of podcasts, you think you have a like, hello, and today we're on, and there's no visual, but we're living in a world of vlog cast. Is that what they call it? Like, video
It's
podcasts.
something like that, as broadcast or something that they're
There's a
trying to
term.
change the word. So right
Yeah.
now, YouTube just had its new drop down button. I don't know what you tab, a new tab that says podcasting, which is along with their music. Okay.
Right.
So, and Spotify, of course, has
Yeah.
its own video podcast that you can
Yes.
have there. So you can search, the video podcast on Spotify,
Yeah.
video podcast on YouTube, and Apple and Google are not going to be too far behind.
No. 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 They
But you're
never are.
able to repurpose, this coaching sessions that you're live streaming, and all
Yeah.
you have to do is just upload it. And the
All you
the,
have
the
to do is
benefit
upload it.
the benefit that you get using one stream and doing that is already compressed.
Yes. Oh,
Your
really? I
files are
didn't
gonna
know
be
that.
compressed. Yeah, the files
Okay.
are gonna be compressed so that it's gonna be very easy for you to upload.
I love that. You also can embed one stream.
Can, sure can.
And so one of the things that's big for us, and I don't do this right now, I used to do it before, but I want to start doing it again, is once you do all of this work, sometimes you do the work and then you go on to the next thing and you forget that you have this valuable piece of content. Actually, you don't only have a valuable piece of content, but once you do a video, you have 20 other uses that this one video can provide for you,
That's
right?
true.
And so you want to make sure that you transcribe that video into a blog post, and that's easy. So many platforms that can do it. You can do it very inexpensively on Fiverr. Transcribe the entire video. Now you actually have companies that will go live while you're going live, and it's transcribing as you speak. So there's all kinds of ways to do that. I won't go into the details. So now you have your video and you have your transcription, vlog and blog. Embed that into your website. It makes your life so easy because now we're like, oh, I have to write a blog and I have to do this. You actually don't. Just go live once a week and you have your social media posts written, you have your video done, you have many of it. What you can take each one of these tips that Strick is giving you today, and you have, if we did 5, you have 5 days worth of content from this one video, which is
Right.
then converted into, transcribe that into your posts. So you start to be creative, like, how can I maximize my time? For me, it's productivity and time efficiency. So if you can do the one video, and you know what? If it's hard for you to go live, find a Strick, find someone who loves getting and who's gregarious, and ask them to be your host, and they're going to interview you. I mean, find ways to make your life easy because the platform is here. It's here to help you really build your business. We can make money more than at any time in
That's
this
true.
history of this world that we live in. You can make so much money because we have the tools. So now
That's true.
learn to use the tools and then use the tools and maximize the tools. And it just will make your life, it actually could be pretty fun too. It can actually make your life and your business a lot of fun if you start to do things like this.
That is so true. And we talk about these things all the time when you're live streaming, how to repurpose it. So if you're a coach out there right now and you have a good business, and to be honest with you, some of these things that we're giving you today, Coleman say he's getting an MBA from live streaming. So I need to be able to
I
send
pay
out
him, just
links.
FYI. He's on payroll.
Yeah, well, he's going to send some money my way today, for this MBA. It costs to give this information out. With that being said,
This is Doc
uh,
Strick, by the way.
yeah, 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 so I'm being the professor today. So you're
Yes.
in class. Let's do it. Um, Erica's and Coleman, you guys are really, really helping us out in the comments. So I really do appreciate that. Erica says, please repurpose your long form content. She's really, really big on that. One of her biggest tips, and I'm giving Erica stuff out right now, is content fries. So you can find content fries out there, and there's several other companies that will do it. I like to use the script to do the same thing. The script is a little more expensive, but it will give you the transcription so you can have that for a blog, and you're able to do short form content. So you could take the 16 by 9 and make it 9 by 16, make it vertical, and then put those captions on it. And that's all done in the script now. So that's one that people could really look into that can help you. Um, what else is there? I wanted to be sure I said that as we're going along talking about other applications that people could use that would help them from a coaching standpoint to repurpose. Right now, we have examples like Joe Rogan. Okay.
Yes.
So Joe, of course, he has his Spotify podcast, but then he's taking clips of that podcast and posting them on YouTube. So everybody has changed the game on how they do it. If you have a podcast, so the other one that I watch a lot is man, I had it right on top of my head. So Shannon Sharp, that's was the one I'm thinking about.
Okay,
Shannon
I see what
Sharp
I think.
does
Yeah.
one as well. He does a long form content, drops it one day, and then every day after that, there's a minute or two clip with him asking his guest a question and their response. and they do a
Mhm.
great job of making sure it's titled the right way. So if you're coaching, just like the session we had today, and I said, "Hey, Ms. Hayward, I'm going to show you how you could throw a commercial inside of your coaching session," and then I'll go and play it and come back, and I say, "Okay, we're back." That one segment, which was probably less than a minute, could be pulled out and shared, um, ways to have commercials inside of your live stream with
Yes,
OneStream Live. It
yes.
is really that simple. And because it's so short, guess what? The replay on that, or if it was made from a vertical standpoint to go
Mhm.
into YouTube Shorts, you got repurpose, and you take a YouTube short, you put it on TikTok, you put it on Instagram, you put it in Reels and Facebook, and you just let it go and see how people resonate with it.
I love that. And then once you see how people resonate with it, and there's something, anytime you have a lot of people that are engaging with a piece of your content, you have to think, okay, we hit the jackpot here. I mean, that's data. I'm all about data. So when you're delivered that piece of information, then how are you going to maximize that? There are going to be a whole lot more people that want to know that information. So
That's
create an
right.
ad, use that video as an ad, Instagram ad, do a Google ad, do a Facebook ad, but use that content and maximize it. I would really also encourage everyone who's listening to this to stay organized in your process. So this can potentially get overwhelming, right? We're like, yeah, do the videos and the blog and do it all. So how do I manage it?
That's right. That's true. That's
You
good.
want to really create a system so that when you're done, when we have our process is once I do something. So we do a weekly webinar with my some publishing clients that I'm working with. So as soon as that's done, our weekly workshop, my assistant goes in, it's recorded, and then she has a whole process on how to organize it, how to convert it into a blog post. I know she knows where it's going inside of our Google Drive. We use Google Drive. I love Google Drive.
Hmm.
Um, but
So do
really
I.
create your standard operating procedure manual on how you're going to organize the whole process so that it doesn't start to feel overwhelming, so that when A happens, then B is next, and then C, and every single time it's A, B, C, and then next it's A, B, C. You don't want to go Z, Y, X, because you will burn out and you will
Right.
be confused, and your business potentially, I really believe your business won't be successful if you're working in that kind of way. So as we're teaching you what we're teaching you now, make sure also you're thinking, okay, what could my organizational process be?
You know what? The tip that I give for people as they're trying to go through that, number one is to know. Okay. First of all, you want to know how to repurpose or where you should repurpose.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So knowing is the first thing. We're past being ignorant about how to do stuff or what I should do. Know
Mm-hmm.
the what. All right. You say,
Yep.
well, that what right now could be really cumbersome for me. Like I can't do all of these. I can't do TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, and
Yes.
YouTube. Great. Let's pick another one. So if you're live streaming on YouTube, pick another one where you resonate in and could build a community. You said, well, which one should I pick? Pick the second most um, community. So followers, whatever you have followers, or
Yeah.
I don't know what they call them across all the
I say
platforms.
followers for all of them.
Yeah. So wherever you have the most followers, the second most followers, that's the one you repurpose the stuff first. Okay, so yes, there's three others you could use, okay, or two others you could be using.
Hmm.
But let's just go with a second one. And I'm just saying that so it doesn't get to be so overwhelming.
Yeah.
But once you get that second one, you understand now that process, and then you'll figure out I could get going on Facebook. I can put in my the captioning on it the cool way Facebook
Yes.
does it, and
Yes.
then download that before I post it. And now I have um my video edited. I have the cool captioning on it that I can use either way. And then I can say on my phone whether I want to put music on it this way for Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
But You just go one step at a time.
Yeah, one step at
All
a time.
right.
And it doesn't have to be fancy to
It
start.
doesn't have to be fancy.
This is like we've gone from 101 to 2.0 to 3.0, and just start at your 1.0. Just keep your life very simple and just go live. Have a video, like Strick said in the beginning. Just record yourself, test it, play with it, right? Just know that you can get in front of the camera, have 3 talking points, do a 15-minute talk. It doesn't have to be an hour, it doesn't have to be half an hour. It could be 15 minutes and have 3 talking points, a little title, and just talk about those 3 things on your own. And that's it. You don't start with your name and the logo and the background. It's like or even the lighting, right? It's start small.
Start small.
What's the saying? How do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time.
One bite at a time.
One
That's
bite
so
at a
true.
time. So just take one bite at a time. And the next time, put your name on. And the next time, find a
Right.
background. And then next time, so now you start to really feel comfortable in the technology. And sooner you'll be teaching classes on this stuff because you're like, I got it. I got it.
I
So,
have the very first video came up. So 3 years ago, and during the pandemic, I did my first video, and this was my
yeah.
process. Hey, I want to go live, but I'm not ready to go live yet.
Mm.
So I produced 5 videos that was less than 5 minutes. So I would go in front of the camera just like I am now, and my very first one was, I'm gonna give you the because I was in radio. I'm gonna give you the top 5 love songs of all
Ah,
time,
that's
and I went down these top 5 love songs, gave a little bit of description, and then I'm like, these songs gives us a very good way of seeing what romantic love is. But love
mm,
has so many different meanings, and I just gave an inspiring message, recorded it, and then put it up to see how people respond to it.
wow.
Now the video quality was terrible. I didn't
Yeah.
have all the lights I have in here now. The audio was good because I know audio, but it was a beginning for me.
Mhm.
And I didn't have it together enough to go live,
Mm.
but recording the video and posting these videos gave me that energy to say, okay, now I have my 5. Now it's time for me to actually go live. And, I found
Mhm.
a community just like what we have with OneStream, and I was able to get into that community and have support and love and people seeing some of the things that I was trying to do and ask questions. And guess what? Those things help.
That's
The one thing that you can't do is say that you can't do it and don't do it.
yes. We
Like,
all
like,
start at zero. Every last one of us started at zero. And now look at Strick. Like Strick's like a pro. I mean, you're like a pro.
thank you.
There's
Thank you.
still
You're
so much
so
that I can
kind.
learn from you.
You're
Absolutely.
so
And I think
kind. You're so
we
kind. So we try to do this in the Streamers Hub every Monday. This is why we are here to help people. I really like because of people helping me along the way
mm,
and finding people that would give me a tip here and there.
yeah.
Guess what? People help me. I want to be a help to you. Erica mentioned it earlier. She's going to tap me to help her go live. She goes live all the time. She's
Okay.
live on Tuesdays at OneStream. So you don't need my help, Erica. That being said, we're getting close to the end here. And I want to go down a couple real quick. So we'll do a couple of quick hitters and see if it resonates with you. And Erica, listen, Erica, if you say one more nice thing about me in the comments here today, I promise you I'm gonna have to send you a tip. So the ease and accessibility of live streaming. In just a little while, you're going to be able to live stream on a mobile phone with OneStream Live. So that's a technology that you have right there on your phone where you can go. The cost effective. I mean, my goodness, like you could reach the world, okay, by being online on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok. Like, do you not know how much radio stations would have to pay for this or did pay for this technology in the past?
Mhm.
Like the boards that they would use and the satellites they would have to use. And now all we need is a good connection to our internet and we could be
Yes.
all over the world. It is really, really cool, definitely cost effective. Um, you're able with OneStream Live to get the data and the analytics of all of your streams so you can see how people are resonating with your message from just looking at the data, who was there, which is so very important, whether it's
Mhm.
through one stream or through YouTube as well, understanding your analytics, the brand building opportunities, the personal connections. And this is one thing as a coach that, sometimes we have to differentiate ourselves from
Mm,
other coaches. Like, what makes your system better? Like, live streaming does that.
yeah,
They get a chance to connect with you. So your vibe will attract your tribe. I
yeah,
want to say it like that. Like, there's so many, the information is the same. It's your personality, is who you are, is your character, is your integrity, is what you teach and how you
mm,
teach it that resonates with people. And that makes the difference. So if other coaches are not live streaming and they don't have a way for people to see who they are, you're putting it right out in front of folks that they can see who you are and say, I really like that person. Let's see if I can connect with them. And those are my real quick tips that you could do for coaching, live streaming for coaches. The tips that can actually help you. And you've been such an awesome guest here today.
oh,
Um, Ms. Hayward, I really, really appreciate you coming through. How can people connect with you?
well, thank you for having me. I just love this. I love going live. I love having these live conversations. If you are interested in learning about how to publish your beautiful story, you can reach out to timetogetpublished.com. You can always connect with me on Facebook. It's probably my favorite platform at Naja. Just type in Naja Hayward, I'll come up. And of course, Instagram, it's Naja_Hayward. So let's connect. If I can help you in any way with your live streaming, if you have any questions, then just send me a quick message and I'm happy to answer. But yes, let's connect.
That's awesome. Thank you for coming through. If you just hold what you got 1 second for me, I want to wrap this up. I thank you guys, whether you're live with us or if you're watching in the replay, to watch all the way through. I'm hoping that you got those tips and that you will use those tips in your coaching business and then let us know that this was beneficial to you. So you can let us know a couple of ways. Just click the like button when you see it on the screen here. Just click the like button. Allow us to know if you're watching this on YouTube that it was helpful. And if you haven't already, hit the bell for notifications. I need you to do that as well. So you'll be notified every time one stream goes live. My name is DJ Strick, and this is the Streamers Hub, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Monday nights. You got me right here. And I am so anticipating seeing you guys next week. I want to say shouts out to Coleman for hanging out with us tonight in the comments. And Erica, you were awesome. And I also want to say Erica will be live tomorrow. So check her out tomorrow. Erica Bates, One Stream Live community, and she does an excellent job as well. I learned so much from her. That being said, that's my time. I'll see you guys next week. Hey, this is DJ Strick, and I've had an awesome time with you today. Thank you for watching another edition of the Streamers Hub right here on One Stream Live.